And so, the exciting adventures of Beefsteak the Barbarian continues. He and his trusty sidekick, the wondrous space piglet Roberto, they survived the caravan massacre. They traversed ancient ruins. They saw ghostly apparitions. What lies ahead for them next? You know what? I think I'm gonna increase this edge scrolling speed if I can. Scroll speed. Let's go. Let's see what 1.5 looks like. That's better. A little faster than that. Double. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right. We have entered the town of Gilded Vale. What awaits us here? Hopefully a chance to rest, a place to sell all the stuff I'm hauling with me, and buy some new, maybe better equipment. I'd like to get an upgraded version of my poleaxe. That would be pretty sweet. I'd probably have been wiser to use a one-handed weapon and a shield. A little bit less damage, a lot more protection. But you know what? This just seems like the way to go for a barbarian such as myself. Wielding a big-ass poleaxe. Hopefully there's some companions to meet here. Let's make this window a little bigger. Yeah, there we go. A little more. Yeah. Oh man, what happened here? Holy smokes. Damn. That's some dead bodies.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
A man approaches you, his skin as dull and gray as the desolate village behind him. He scans you with sunken, lifeless eyes. His voice is a dry croak. He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. Damn! People got massacred. Yeah, I'm gonna treat this with astonishment because holy smokes. There's dead bodies hanging from a tree. Are you mad? No wonder this place looks half empty. The only answer you hear is the buzzing of flies from the tree.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
His gaze swivels back to you. He appraises you over half-moon spectacles, scratches his chin. I don't like this guy. Yeah, I'm not answering.
That kind of surliness will get you nowhere in Gilded Vale. Lord Raderick has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village, and to him, no answer at all is as good as an admission of guilt. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly towards the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
Yeah, you know what? Screw your settlement thing. I don't want to live in this town. That's... yeah. Let's see what this is all about. You said something about Hollowborn and Wayton's legacy before. He blinks. I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have a strange scourge upon been a scourge upon the Durwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows. But they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Waidwin's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. So all these people hanging from the tree were... they have some sort of disease or curse or what? Lord Redrick's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interest at heart. Nods. I don't know about that. If you have any other questions, do not hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. I don't know if it's wise to ask him about this. But I have to choose something, and I don't want to tell him about the ceremony. Alright, let's talk about this.
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radrick, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all.
Damn, I definitely do not like this place. There's no chance I'm settling in this town.
But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that. Keep out of...
Listen!
The bell
Two
tolls.
tolls. Let that be the last. 3. Gods have mercy.
What does 3 tolls mean?
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
Urgi looks out towards the east, his expression unreadable. He blinks slowly and turns his attention back to you.
3 bells toll only for the death of a Radrick. I fear Lord Radrick's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
A peculiar spasm crosses his face, and the corner of his mouth quirks up into a mirthless smile. What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I will know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps, but that is not your concern. Does this affect the Lord's offer on you settlers? I don't really want to settle, but let's just ask. I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest. The inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. I don't feel like doing all conversation options with him. That guy disgusts me. Alright. Scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers and notes half erased by the rains. Who's this? Ed Air.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
I'm looking for anyone that can help me feel better. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. Temple, Druid's house, Black Hammer Smithery. Alfred's house, the inn. There's that there. Let's go to the smith. Sell off. Well, actually, yeah. I'm thinking if I meet some companions, I may want to hold on to some of the equipment I have, but nothing I have is particularly good. I'm sure they have their own equipment. If I indeed do meet any companions. Theophalian. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. You only live once. You see a pennant waving tall and sluggish in the wind, a rising sun embroidered on the banner, the vanguard of a small troop of paladins. The atmosphere is buoyant, if restrained, and their armor has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At their head stands a commander, awkward in full armor, but determined in step. Despite the excitement of his fellows, he does not smile. There's a twist to his mouth, his countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troop. Silence falls among them, revealing a dark thunder, deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons and spread out. Eyes dart from horizon to horizon, necks twisting to see the source of the sound. In the distance, dust and lightning rise from the ground as Stygian clouds race towards them overhead. The soldiers stand, only the staccato movement of their breath betraying their nerves. The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down on his troop. Invigorated, invincible, they wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. Whoa, was that his past or his future? Or was that about him at all? Damn. I heard they fended off another attack on Lord Redrick's keep. Did you hear the bells? Bad news, I think. Yeah, 3 tolls. So I've been told. That's not a good thing. Alright. Hey there, buddy. You shopping? Not many people in here these days. Just me and Lord Redrick's people, of course. Guard. There's apprentice. There's Tautanu. Harlan Ornanson. Dugan Steelcollar. Damn, look at the... Oh man, look at the artwork on this. This place looks awesome. That armor. Yeah, I don't want to steal anything. The red hand means if I try to pick something up, that's a stealing. Damn, that looks great. Alright, let's talk to these dudes. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Alright, so I am looking into their past when I reach out for their soul. What exactly am I doing? You see a group of adventurers surrounded by a crowd of attacking Zoreps. This man is with them, seemingly unconcerned by the battle, even detached from it as he stands in the middle of his comrades, chanting, his expression bordering on elation. His voice is powerful and deep, booming out across the combatant. I can never say that word. Combatants. Man, tongue twister. As a rich counterpoint to the chaos of the fighting. With every phrase, the battlefield changes. His allies glow with a pulsing blue light, freezing the Zoreps that surround them. A blazing pyre erupts from the ground, cutting and burning the creatures and sending them scattering. One of the fallen Zoreps suddenly explodes as 3 giant grubs crawl from its corpse and attack the remaining enemies. The man continues to chant, thoroughly enthralled in the joy of the moment. Finally, the creatures have been reduced to 1. His allies stand back as the man approaches it, still chanting. He removes his hammer and swings it at the Zorep. His phrase ends as the hammer connects with its head, punctuating the spell and bringing his song to an end. Well, I mean, that's an efficient way to kill enemies. I'm a little concerned about just how into he was into killing the enemies there. What about this dude? Harlan Orenson. You see a man crouching, surreptitious and alone, a series of untamed shrubs, all that hides him from the vision ahead. His eyes are locked on a Delemgan, beautiful and terrible, eyes half-lidded as she hums. A bird with fantastic blue and orange plumage sits on her shoulder, trilling gently, and the man is entranced. Trembling, tentative, he stands, and the tranquility is broken by the bird's startled squawk. The Delemgan half smiles, beckoning with twig-like fingers. She does not speak as he approaches. His mouth is dripping sounds of awe and admiration. She waits, coy and tempting, and with agonizing slowness he is before her. Then, something changes. She sees something hanging limply from his side and begins to hiss. Fingers suddenly claws at her eyes, black with hate. He has no time to reach for his axe or grimoire as she strikes, and just as soon as she strikes, she is gone. The only evidence of her existence, the shuddering wreck on the ground. He grabs at his grimoire nevertheless and begins to chant, but the words of a magical language of his own imagining, scribbled in a maniacal shorthand, ring hollow, and the silence continues unabated. He turns and shrugs at someone or something, but if there's something there, you do not see it. Alright, this is weird. Do I get any weird visions from The Apprentice? If you want to buy something, it's Tautanu you should speak to. On that I shall. This Almoa man is of an impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is the dusty blue of the deeper oceans, and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a squared jaw face coated in smeared soot and arcing back black tattoos alike.
Welcome.
He grins, revealing a row of pointed teeth. Welcome. Good to see a new face. Is it armor you're wanting, or a good blade? You offer a fellow Almoa a discount, maybe? Is this your shop? That it is. Been here near on 20 years now. Seen all manner of things over the years, good luck and bad. Tautanu glances at the guard standing watch along the wall. But the Black Hammer smithery remains. Let's see what you got. You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be, but we find weapons and armor to offer yet. All forged right here at the Black Hammer. Well, what happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now, and haven't seen a sign of it. Have to expect they were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them. Or my workers ran off with the wagon themselves, maybe, to make some coin. Tautanu snorts, as if that lot would dare. Tautanu scratches his jaw, thinking, if you happen to be headed that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for a supply wagon. Or my shipment, at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect. Only good road for it. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace, Lord Redrick. Tautanu glances at the nearby guard. And that's as it should be. But it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. Yeah, I'll look for your supplies. Yeah, let's ask where it was traveling from. We send the wagon up to New Heomar with weapons, and it swings round through Longholm and the like to purchase supplies. Shortest route back is through the Black Meadow, and then north through the wilds. Tautanu shakes his head. Had a trader come through with word they'd made it to Logholm, but haven't heard a thing since. I'll find your supplies. Tautanu nods. And you have my thanks. You bring those supplies back and I'll have plenty more to offer you. A discount to start. Oh, and if you find my workers, tell them to hurry it up. Or they can take up farming instead. So can I...
Well met, friend.
Yeah, let's see what you got. Camping supplies. Jenna's lance. Not actually a proper lance, but rather a pike. The weapon was gifted to an Orlan maid along with a goat by her wizard master Cabrindo, who was forced to show her the door after a number of episodes of remarkable clumsiness and brash carelessness that had left his grimoire waterlogged in his laboratory in ashes. The gifts were all the soft-hearted wizard could do to stanch his guilt. Good damage, slow, lots of reach, increased reach, +1 constitution, 20% grace converted hits. Hold wall, crossbow. A masterwork of dwarven craftsmanship. This sturdy arbalist earned its name during the Battle of Marching Mountains, where a dwarven ranger held off a group of ogres bearing down on him and his few remaining comrades. In the ranger's hands, the arbalist proved more than capable of launching bolts through thick ogre hide, holding the invading forces at bay just long enough for reinforcements to arrive. While victory against the ogres proved short-lived, the tale is still one told with great pride around dwarven campfires. Alright, so it's increased attack speed. Criticals inflict prone, although it has a less reduced critical damage. Right. Azurif Stiletto. Of course, I can't afford any of these special weapons, but might as well check them out. It's fast, damage reduction, bypass 3, damage reduction, spell striking, jolting touch, grants jolting touch, whatever jolting touch means. Probably an electricity-based spell of some sort. The War of Black Trees, like Shocking Grasp, maybe? The War of Black Trees brought hardship and suffering to many Glanthethans, but it bore special tragedy for its druidic orders, who were forced not only to endure the deaths of many friends and kin, but also the destruction of the lands they revered above all else. Among them was Azarath, a young Ovate, deeply troubled by the use of the elements to turn nature against the people of Air Glanfath, and wondering if he was seeing the last days of his people. Azarath took to walking the endless stretches of burned-down forests in search of something, anything, that might signal a reason to hope. He found it in an old ironwood tree, thick and gnarled with roots that ran in waves through the ground as though they'd been woven there. It stood as it always had, though singed well up the side of its trunk now, while everything around it had been incinerated by the soldiers of the Durwood, leaving a wasteland 1,000 acres in every direction. Azarath plucked a single branch from the old tree, making sure to express his profound gratitude. An accomplished organic artificer, Azarath reshaped the branch into a blade that would rival any made in the forge. He infused it with the strength of the elements, vowing never again to be at their mercy, and resolving that if the tree could endure, so too could he. In his hands the blade would find its way into the hearts of many soldiers who stood at the edge of the forest with torches and barrels of pitch, and by the war's end he had saved many forests from the flame. When his years were drawing to a close, Azarath made a final pilgrimage back to the old ironwood tree, which still stood, and laid the knife at its base, to be taken up by someone else in need of inspiration in dark times. On his way there, he was pleased to see that beneath the ashes that covered the forest floor, new life had begun to spring. Azarath's stiletto is unusual, as the entire weapon is dark red-brown wood. Even the blade. The magic used in its creation hardened and protected the wood, preventing it from chipping or warping. Dark green vines and leaves sprout from it and wrap themselves around the hilt to form the grip. That's pretty cool. Big old great sword. Morning Star. Pike, quarterstaff, warbow. Mace, saber, a sword, outworn buckler. +5 to all defenses. This simple wooden buckler would not be out of place in a pile of surplus training shields. Painted green, it has 2 black iron straps across its front that form a large X. It looks like it has taken more than its share of blows and may have been in use for far too long. But far from the ordinary, the buckler is in fact thousands of years old, its preservation a testament to a transcendence of its humble creation. The buckler originally belonged to one of the founding members of the Darkazi Paladini, when she was just a squire thousands of years ago in the glory days of Old Valia. As it accumulated damage from war and weather, the buckler became an extension of the paladin's own irrepressibility and protectiveness, as well as a symbol that inspired those in her charge. She wore it in every battle of her long and distinguished career, and though the paladin's name would eventually succumb to the ravages of time, the shield has yet to do the same. It is said that the shield was so partial to its original master that it will allow none but a paladin of similar conviction to touch it, and in times of need, it has a way of making it into the hands of those whose souls mirror the greatest qualities of the Darkazi founder. Breastplate. Lots of slash, lots of pierce, burn, freeze. Less recovery, less damage reduction. Mail armor, scale armor, reflection, burning belt. Rings could feature plain bands or jewels in settings. Magical rings may bestow a variety of special properties or defenses on the wearer. Their small size allows their enchantments to complement similar enchantments from other items and spells, and this versatility has made them popular among the adventurers. +5 deflection, +5 fortitude, +5 reflex, +5 will. Burning belt. This belt is comprised of several layers of leather wound around small round pieces of metal. The resulting effect is not unlike brigandine, though the belt's sturdiness only reflects those arcane protections woven into the material, for the belt grants an uncommon resistance against cutting and piercing weapons. Cool. Cape of Withdrawal. Disengagement defense bonus. Oh, okay. So this lets you like get out of melee range without being attacked, or at least when you get attacked by an attack of opportunity, you have defense. I'm assuming capes and cloaks can be worn for protection from the elements and from prying eyes alike. Many are woven with spells to provide additional defense or enhanced abilities to the wearer. Bronze horn figurine. Though tarnished and lustreless, it is remarkable. And lustreless in its remarkable age, the intricate inscriptions and texturing still discernible on the horn's surface, along with the artifact's obvious longevity, suggest an object of expert workmanship. Summon animate. That's cool. Rope and grappling hook, that could be useful. I don't think I have one of those, do I? No. In that case, I should buy one. I have enough money, I do. I'm going to need to sell some pry bar. Effective for prying open certain types of containers, but not especially useful on doors due to the uneven and narrow distribution of its luggage. Right, both these things would be useful. Let's sell some stuff off first. I wouldn't mind waiting until I did his quest for him, so I got a discount, and I would imagine I'd probably also get better prices for what I'm selling, but you know what? Screw it. In the long run, it's not going to make that much of a difference, and I need the copper to afford these two things, because who knows, I may run into situations that would require these. Let's just sell everything. And buy that, buy that. That cost me 88 coppers. Let's do it. Nice. Cool, I got a bunch of tools. Let's put the tools here. Torch here, keep the food there. Alright. Thank you very much. I shall come back with your shipment, hopefully, later. Now to explore around town. This is the way I would go if I'm looking for that shipment. South, road west. Alright. Let's go to Ingrued's house. Beer and ale. Yes, I shall take it. Excuse me, you two. I hope you don't mind me entering. Oh, that's Nanton. Ingrid. This man and woman appear to have been deep in conversation, working at closing two bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices you approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Gods keep you.
She looks to her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this man, Nanton? Nanton coughs. Yes, I think we met in the Valewood. I warned him about the bear. He inclines his head. Glad to see you made it. Was there something else you wanted? You two seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so, Ingrid laughs. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay and... She looks at Nanton. Well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. Can't say I blame you with all the dead bodies hanging outside. Nanton reaches to take her hand. It's time for some new scenery, he says. Is there anything you can tell me about the Gilded Veil? Ingrid smiles wryly. Only that you'll want to be moving on as soon as you can, huh? Yeah, I figured that out on my own, thank you, but good advice. You'll have seen the tree, I imagine, but the rot goes deeper. If you were looking for work, I'd say you have better chance of it elsewhere. We're headed for Defiance Bay ourselves, Nanton adds. Goodbye. Ooh, will they get mad if I take this? It's not a red. Better save. Seems kind of rude to be like pilfering their stuff right in front of them, but you know what? This is a video game, and this is how I roll. And it's money. They didn't seem to mind. Alright, cool. Generous folk like that. Alright, see ya. Have a safe trip. Oh, we got something else. Ah, book. Nice. The Durwood, Part 2. The Broken Stone War. In 2626 AI, a group of farmers, while clearing farmland for planting, accidentally knocked down one of the ancient Adra menhirs on their land. This innocent act drew the ire of the native population and started what would come to be known as the Broken Stone War. When it was finally over, several thousand colonists had been killed, as well as hundreds of the Glanthathans. Even though the war was technically over, the Glanthathans escalated their attacks on the settlers over the next 2 years, using vicious tactics that left many colonists, several military figures, an earl, and 6 thanes dead. Unable to stop the Glanthathan attacks, the earls elected Earl Edrang Hadret to the position of Gref. Well respected and known to be a master of military tactics, he was tasked with dealing with the Glanthathan threat. Edrang fought with the Glanthathans, led by an Orlan named Regard, for the next 2 years. Neither side can gain the upper hand on the other, resulting in a tense stalemate between the two groups. Because of this stalemate, the hostilities slowly died off, and in 2631, the Durwooden people signed a treaty with the Glanthathans. Regard would step down, the Glanthathans would stop their attacks altogether, and the Durwooden people would leave the ruins alone. This treaty angered the nobility in Eder, as it brought to a halt the supply of artifacts. Edrang also tried to get the practice of slavery outlawed, but this was not successful. Because of this, the peace between the Durwood and Air Glanthath is uneasy and tumultuous. Small patches of rural violence still cropped up, but were easily dealt with as neither side wanted another war. Alright, Ingrid, Nanton, you two take care. Safe trip. Let's check out this windmill. Oh, what's over here? It's somebody's house. Oh, we got villager. Take some spring berries in case I get that disease again. Hope I'm feeling better now. I mean the disease I originally had, not the whatever the heck happened to me after that ritual there. Gold rot chew. A staple of their wooden countryside. Gold rot chew is a favorite of farmers who swear by the minor boosts in energy it provides. Those who use it often find that they feel sluggish when they stop. The chew is made from the root of golden celery plant. Ah, cool. It relieves your fatigue for a little while. A little minor caffeine boost, if you will. Oh, I forgot to take it. Iloth. As you near, you feel the vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. You see a crowded marketplace, vendor stalls lining the road, their proprietors' voices calling out to passers-by to come sample their wares. This woman wanders through the throngs, strolling hand in hand with another woman. They peruse the vendor's goods, tarrying at a book merchant with a number of old and beautiful tomes, chatting with one another about what they see. One will pick up a book and show it to the other, who will take it, comment on it, and place it back on the shelf. Then the first will snatch up the book again and quickly pay the merchant before the other can snatch it back. They walk away from the market weighed down by packs filled with books, still hand in hand, standing close, comfortable, and familiar with each other. As they pass down a somewhat deserted street, an object suddenly hits this woman in the chest and bounces off, rolling away towards one of the buildings. The women stop and look at the object, an apple, and then back up at the person who threw it. There's nothing special about him aside from the angry look on his face and the two other apples he holds. Before either woman can move, the man draws back and throws another one at them, this time hitting the second woman in the forehead. He yells at them, something derisive and hateful, something about legacy and about responsibilities. The woman raises her hand to her head and wipes the juice and bits of fruit from her face and stares the man down defiantly. The first woman squeezes her hand and puts the other on her companion's shoulder, attempting to calm her down. The other woman pulls a book from her pack and holds it, attempting before her, muttering under her breath. She pulls her hand free and waves it above the book, an aura forming around her. The first woman is still trying to calm her down, but all she says goes unheard. The man, uncaring of the events happening in front of him, draws back and throws the last apple. As it arcs through the air towards them, the second woman brings up her hand and points at the apple. A glowing orb of energy flies from her hand and strikes the apple, causing it to explode, raining bits of apple down on the road and the buildings around them. The man's face changes, anger joined by fear, looking like he's trying to decide if running or attacking is the better course of action. The second woman has started chanting again, her hand glowing, her eyes narrowing. This woman steps in front of her, placing herself between her love and their attacker. She touches her face, gently stroking it while whispering, calming her word, a kiss. The woman's countenance changes. She calms, her eyes softening, her lips regaining the lost smile. The first woman smiles again as well and kisses the other. Wizard scum, the man behind them says, and the two women turn to face him, staring him down defiantly. They join hands and begin walking again, moving past him without so much as a sideways glance. Edlin Preoston. Man, I get a lot of these people I can do this soul reach and deal with. Is this the other woman? The spellcaster? You see a key turn gently, steady, and hear a ghostly click as the door swings inward. Two figures slip in, locking the door behind them, and begin their prowl. Their hunt is efficient, and it takes them a little time to acquire a sizable collection of documents in oddly shaped velvet pouches. Quick hands fill pockets, rucksacks, bags. The door opens downstairs and everything freezes. Footsteps. A tired giggle. The thieves are all eyes whites and short breath as they empty their pockets of all but their necessities. Anything noisy hurriedly replaced. Silence from downstairs. Their tentative steps up the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps forward, the other gesticulating wildly for him to return. He continues forward, crouching by the banister. He sees a gaudy shoe and shoves. The woman falls with a cut-off scream, rolling lifelessly to the floor below. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother as they make their escape, collecting whatever of value they can on the way out. Alright, that would be stealing if I try to take from them. So, you know what? I'll leave you two alone. More springberry? Yep. Oh, another ghostly apparition. Whoa, check this dude out. Doran Chamberlain. Rudolfir Necator. You see a large crowd gathered in the middle of a courtyard. This man stands in the midst of them, a cloak pulled over his head, holding it closed around his neck. The crowd has congregated around the platform, and they all watch, transfixed, as a man is led to the platform, flanked by two city guardsmen. The man is shackled hand and foot, but carries himself as a nobleman, not deigning to even glance at the crowd. The cloaked man pulls his cover closer around his face and turns to leave, hunching over to avoid being seen. A crier on the platform unrolls a parchment and begins to read, but the man pays no attention, intent on getting away from the courtyard. The crier's voice grows louder and more intense as he reads, and voice from the crowd start to punctuate his sentences. The jeers and shouts grow more frequent, and with each one, the cloaked man flinches as his shoulders droop. He breaks from the crowd, coming to the edge of the courtyard as the crier reaches the end of this proclamation. The crowd grows silent again, save for the occasional shout. The man turns back to look at the platform, seeing his father kneeling before the block, neck exposed. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch it. There is a wet thunk and the crowd breaks into cheers and applause. He leans against the wall, regaining his composure, then straightens up. With obvious resolve, he strides off, away from the crowd and his legacy. Man, these little personal stories are awesome. Rudolfir Necator. You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. Their owner, a slightly hook-nosed man with a wicked grin and narrow eyes. He bobs his feathered hat at a nearby merchant as he ambles by. A small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink staining his fair fingers. He seems to know most of the merchants in the market, stopping to engage some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods with a select few, always smiling, laughing, and exchanging jibes. He approaches a heavy-set Almoa, smile plastered stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather. She jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone, and the smile on his face far from genuine. He tips his cap at her, winking, and trottles off with a new spring in his step. Is he a forager? So this is the windmill, right? Oh no, it's over here. It's up on this little plateau. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Swainer. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. Trumbull. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door gets shot between the eyes. God's hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away for now, lads. We'll be back, Trumbull, and we'll have fair prices, or by the flame, we'll have a reckoning. Better save before I go in there. He might just shoot me. An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of a labor. His face is pale and drawn and his eyes wide. Behind them, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. Oh, hold on. I'm not here to hurt anyone. The miller hesitates and lowers the club a fraction. Who are you? Is Swainer roping foreigners into his little crusade now? I should introduce myself first. My name is Beefstick. I only just arrived in the Gilded Vale. Trumbull shakes his head. You picked a bad time to come visiting. Gilded Vale's had all its shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap now. And Swainer thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. What was all that ruckus outside? Trumbull shakes his head. Where to begin? Swainer's whipped them up into a froth, going on about grain stores. Claims I've hidden away most of it. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound on the west side of town for ale. And Swainer and his lot sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way into town, the crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers. Trumbull gestures to the sacks and containers. It's gone off, rotted through. I can't pay top price for blighted wheat, and I barely got enough good grain to go around. Swainer's howling it after things he has no right to. Maybe I ought to have a talk with Swainer then. Yeah. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it, if you could convince him. Is there anything I can do to poke around the place? That'd be stealing. Can I talk to Sorrow? My father's a good man. He's always done right by the town. Alright. I'll see ya. Hopefully we can settle this without coming to blows. Still not sure I believe him, but we'll play along for now. Let's get some shrooms. Oh, I only sold off my weapons last time. I forgot when I was at the smithery. I didn't sell any of my things I picked. Mushrooms, plants. Like, probably better off that way anyway, because I might use them for potions. Let's see what's up here. Despite the rain, the stalks feel as dry and stiff as a locust husk. Well, he wasn't making stories up about the crops being blighted. Baraf's Bell. So I still have my cloaks, and I still have all that armor to sell. I should sell off the armor. But we'll explore the rest of the town first. No hurry. This flowering plant has drooping flowers of a somber blue and gold shade. Both the sweet-smelling leaves and berries of the plant are known to be extremely poisonous, toxic to grazing animals and people alike. Hugo and Ronan Taronian. You see a room, bright, warm, and covered in greenery. There isn't a spot in the entire space that doesn't have some kind of plant growing in it. Small germinating seeds in a corner here, large sprawling vines climbing the walls there. Although most of the plants are actually in some kind of container, there are a few that have grown from the dirt floor itself. These are just as lovingly cared for as anything else in the room. This man wanders through the plants, smiling at each and every one, an old pipe clenched between his teeth. Stopping next to one, he touches a leaf, lifting it up to look at the underside, then gently rubs it between his fingers. He takes a small handful of the soil it grows in and crushes it with his fingers. Satisfied, he drops the soil back into the pot and continues to the next plant. He hums a low, cheery tune as he moves among the plants, occasionally stopping to sing a few words of something to one of them. Finally, he reaches the door, having visited every plant in the room. He turns back to look at them, a look of serene pleasure on his face. Then he turns back and is gone. A botanist, I see. And Mr. Ronan Taronian? You see a group of people standing around a wagon, transfixed on a sword as it swings in a large, graceful arc. This man holds the sword, passing it from hand to hand with relaxed ease, making the blade dance in front of his audience. He tosses it into the air, spins, then puts his arm behind his back to catch it. The crowd claps excitedly, and a couple of them gasp, certain they were about to see a tragedy. Yeah, more herbs to pick. Pilgrim's Crown. These small golden flowers grow across entire meadows in the plains of Ixamidil, and less commonly in the Durwood. They're frequently woven into garlands and wreaths, Many a pair of infatuated youths has passed the pilgrim's crown between them. So I take it this is the temple, or it was a temple. Oh, I could still go down. So the temple is underground? Or it's just the basements left? So this is probably a dungeon area, huh? Because it says I can't use my stash here unless I rest. Yeah. Wharton. Well, let's talk to this guy. Wretched beasts. A man lies resting against the wall, lit by the dim illumination of the fading scones. He has a gaunt, fox-like aspect, and his face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeve soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his features twisted with pain.
Hello!
Huh. Thought you were some... Never mind. Whoever you are, you've traveled a long way to reach a dark place. This temple isn't what it used to be. Probably for the best. Times being as they are. He groans and shifts position, wincing. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful either. Just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it. He regards you warily. Maybe you'd have better luck. Better luck with what? The man points a finger upwards. These ruins around us used to be a temple of Eothas, the scattered god, a grand temple at that. His worshippers would come from all over the Durwood, from Reedseras even, until the war, of course. Even then, you'd get some of the stubborn ones, the ones that couldn't get it through their heads that their god was dead and gone. Go on. Once the legacy started, Lord Redrick decided he'd been too lenient on the Eothsians. He had his people go in and put them to the sword, left them down there, buried under a heap of rock. After that, Redrick ordered the temple sealed, and it's been years like that up until recently. Lord Redrick hopes that if we rededicate the temple to a living god, that we'd be forgiven, and the legacy will end. See? He smiles wryly. But until then, the temple is as you see it, unguarded. That's where you come in. Wharton licks his lips. Those priests, maybe they didn't have a lick of sense between them, but they still didn't deserve to go like that. Chopped down in their god's house. It doesn't sit right with me. If you can get down there, find the remains, maybe we could finally give them a proper burial. Wharton breathes out. No small task. There's coin in it for you if you need motivating. I take it you aren't supposed to be in here? Wharton laughs bleakly. Well, I meant to be in and out, nice and quick. I'm not hunting anyone. It's just Lord Redrick's forbidden anyone having anything to do with the scattered god. It'd be a little harder to explain to him than you. It's a good cause, though, isn't it? You could make some coin in the process. I have some questions first. Why can't you do this yourself? Well, I tried. Only got a short ways in before I got in over my head. Wharton looks up at you. I haven't raised the blade in a long time, but a big fellow like you can handle yourself. Who are you, anyway? Wharton offers you a weak grin. Name's Wharton. I've lived in Gilded Vale long enough to remember how grand it used to be. He shrugs and looks away. I used to help the temple, sometimes. Bring supplies, that's all. Won't Lord Redrick mind us digging around down here? I wouldn't go telling him about it. Lingering in these places, it's no good for anyone. But you do this quick and quiet, and we can do right by those priests without raising a fuss. Any chance there's anything worth down here? Yeah, any valuables? Wharton looks around. Probably. Nobody's been through the place since it was sealed up. Well, apart from me, and I didn't touch anything. Any valuables in there you get first crack at them. I only ask that you do this favor for me while you're at it. Alright, I'll find them. Then by the flame, I owe you a good turn. But listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long, it's crawling with creatures. But if you get past them, the priests would have been down on the lower floor. They'll all be there still. They'll be there still, if they're anywhere. Those priests had all kinds of secret chambers, switches in the walls, trick sconces, that kind of thing. Keep an eye out, and take care down there. I wouldn't want to have to send someone else after your remains. I'll wait by the stairs and keep a lookout. Maybe try to patch myself up some. Maybe it would have been smarter to see if I could find companions before doing this speed. I can always leave. Well, I'm gonna save here. And we'll leave off here. Next time, we'll take a shot at exploring this temple and see if it's something I can handle on my own. And if that goes horribly, horribly wrong, as it well might, then we'll leave, reload, leave the temple, take a look around town, go to the inn, see if we can recruit anybody to come with us. So, until then.